this is Joe Abraham. I've been asked to share some thoughts from my experience going through this pandemic with you all around the world. What am I learning as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and as a leader? Well, three quick things I want to share with you. Number one, I call it switching shoes. It was a good experiment for us to forget about our own problems. Obviously, when this hit, we were all thinking about problems we needed to solve: cash flow, people, customers, product, service, like everything's upside down. And we were challenged, and we challenged ourselves internally to say, well, let's not think about ourselves as much. What about our customer? Let's put ourselves in their shoes and ask the questions: what are they going through? What challenges are they dealing with? What pressures, what issues are they dealing with that have to do with our business or the services we provide, but also that have nothing to do with what we do? And it's interesting that when you take your focus off yourself and your immediate needs and put them on the needs of others, A, you get a whole new perspective. B, you tend to be a little bit more optimistic, but C, you end up solving some very meaningful problems for customers who may not have even been your customers before. It opens doorways to new revenues and opportunity. And I'm going to tell you, your competition probably isn't thinking about this. So it creates a very powerful competitive advantage if you pursue switching the shoes that you're wearing and not wear your own, but so to speak, wear your customers. Just something to challenge you with, to think about. We're certainly challenging ourselves on that. Number two has to do with really watching and learning. This is an interesting time. Brands are truly exposing who they are in times of crisis, right? As an example, one of the brands I've been doing business with for 20 years is American Airlines. That's the airline I typically fly anywhere I go. You know, they're big. They're dealing with some major issues, billions of dollars in losses. You would think that they're too busy to even think straight with the complications they have compared to us as leaders in smaller organizations. But isn't it interesting that not only did they re-engineer their entire Advantage program and create all kinds of incentives for their members who aren't flying with them and doing business with them right now, the CEO recorded a really gracious video in the middle of all this and sent it out to all their members. And they basically demonstrated in a time of crisis that they were about their customer, they cared about their customer, they wanted to communicate openly with their customer and meet their needs the best they could, even though they were losing billions of dollars in the process, right? That's an exposure of culture. What can you and I learn about our organization watching someone like that? Now, on the flip side, another brand that I've been doing business with for over 20 years is called Chase Bank. They've done a miserable job, an absolutely atrocious job of serving their customer. And you know what? That happens. We all make mistakes. Look at what happened with Zoom, right? They had a disaster with their security, but the CEO stood up, he owned the mistake, he apologized and said, it's on me. I'm not going to blame my IT people. I'm not going to blame it. This is on me. He owned the mistake, and he earned a lot of customer loyalty in the process. Chase, customers haven't heard a peep from them. Even their frontline workers are being stonewalled from information from up top. That means there's a cultural failure all the way at the top of this organization, and they're going to pay the price for it. You watch and see. So we can watch and learn during tough times. How do organizations and other leaders respond, and how can that inspire me in the process? Finally, I just encourage you to jump ahead. That's a recommendation I'd make. It's very easy, again, to be thinking about the next 2 weeks, the next 30 days, the next 60 days of survivability and trying to war game out all the possible scenarios that could happen this September or October. But what about next March? What about March of 2022? What are the things that you and I need to anticipate in this new normal and start putting in place in strategy to leap ahead? Look, what's happening to us right now is like a rubber band, right? Once you stretch it, it doesn't return to its original position. And in most industries, they're not going to return to the way they were in January or February of 2020. So where's your industry going? Some industries, the rubber band is snapped. It's a complete reboot, right? The restaurant industry, and you look at some others, business will never be the way it normally was. Other industries have experienced a little bit of a stretch. There'll be a little bit of a rebound, but some adjustments along the way. So what are those adjustments? How do we anticipate 6 months to a year to 2 years out and start putting strategy in place for that now, rather than being stuck in just the next 30, 60 days? I would challenge you as a leader to put your organization that far out. I think you'll see some incredible results. This is Joe Abraham. Hope you enjoyed our time together.